Very Good evening. Hi, I'm Chaya Agarwal, your host for today and founder owner of Life on a Canvas. I'm so happy that each one of you have taken out your precious time to be with Smita and me today. I'm really happy about that. And today we have with us one of the most gorgeous, most wonderful, ever smiling, charming lady behind the calculations and numbers. She's a homemaker, she's an author, she's a numerologist, an acupressure therapist, and many more to name a few. So please welcome Smita Ganeriwala. Thank you, Smita. Thank you so much for being here with us today. It really means a lot to me, and I'm really happy that you're here with us on our show today. So we'll start now, but before we start, Smita, is there anything that you would like to say, anything that you would like to know, just, just generally?
First of all, thank you, Chaya, so much for having me. It's it's a special feeling to be on a live, chat show. So thank you.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure that you're here.
So many adjectives for you. For me, you are no less. I know you as an educationist. I know you as a painter. I know you as a designer. So tell me what you are. What is the most fulfilling for you?
What is most fulfilling for me?
Yeah.
I think my art and my life, which is basically life on a canvas, is very fulfilling for me because this is something that has really got me through the lockdown.
Okay.
Yes, because the thing is that when the lockdown began, Smita, there was actually nothing to do, and I was literally like counting days, like when is it going to end? And every time Modi said, "Badha diya hai 14 din, badha diya hai 21 din," and every time I had to hear that, and my heart used to go into calculations like, what am I going to do for the next 14 days, or what am I going to do? Because I don't want to just sit in the house and cook and take care of the kids. I'm not saying that I don't like it, but the thing is, just being in the kitchen, it gets frustrating after a certain time, yeah. So, then suddenly what happened one day, I was browsing through my phone. I was, just scrolling through my phone, and I saw this beautiful design, and I said, "Chal, let's draw this." And gradually from there, I started drawing and doodling and things like that. And then I started putting it, on my drawing book. First, I was just drawing on sheets. Then I started putting it on drawing books, and then gradually, I said, let me give my drawing a name. So then I started Life on a Canvas, because every person's life is, it begins on a canvas, an empty slate. And then from there it progresses. And then I started my talk show because of my curious nature to know about people. So that is it. Nothing more.
That's a very beautiful thing you said. Everybody's life is a canvas. It's actually true. Everyone's life is a blank canvas, and it's colors we put in it is what matters.
That's very true. So thank you. That's quite a bit about me, because this show is all about you, Smita. So before we begin, Sorry?
Not without you.
Not
I wouldn't
without
be here
me,
if you were not.
but you're the main person here, Smita. So before we begin, there is a little bit I want to talk about Smita to you all so that all of you know. Smita is basically born and brought up in Calcutta. She went to Ashoka Hall School for Girls, Secondary High School for Girls. By profession, she's a chartered accountant. Okay. And by passion, she's a foodie. I know that because of the umpteen times we've gone out for dinner. So she's a foodie, she is a musician, and she is a lover of occult sciences. And she has taken formal training in Chaldean, in Pythagorean, in Vedic numerology, and in Mahavastu, as well as she is a trained acupressure therapist. Her first brush came with writing when she was made the editor of Kindle Hearts, a Montessori. She was made the editor of a school magazine of Kindle Hearts, and it is a Montessori house. And her love for children, her love for cooking, her love for food, her love for storytelling all arose from here. And since 2014, she has started storytelling sessions. She has her own blog. She is a writer for adult magazines as well as adult stories. And her first adult novel, which is Can We Meet, is available on Kindle. Am I right, Smita?
Yes.
It is available on Kindle. So if any of you want to go ahead and read her novels, please go ahead and read it on Kindle. And she has visited more than 60 schools. She has addressed more than 15,000 students and has entertained them with her storytelling. And in her childhood, numbers fascinated her. So no wonder she is a chartered accountant and she is a wonderful leading numerologist as well. So Smita, all that I've said about you, I hope you know and enjoy and appreciate that. And I'm glad that you are with us. I'm glad that you are with us. So just tell me that, before we actually get into the depths about you and numbers and you being a CA, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself, what you are, tell us something about the Smita that I don't know. I think I know everything, but because we meet so often, we talk so often, so I know a lot about you. But you tell our audience what and who is the real Smita.
I'm actually a very simple person, but a very important part of me is sports also. I love sports. Yeah. In school, I used to play basketball. I used to play throwball. Most of the sports I used to play. And cricket, I used to watch cricket like I was a big fan. Any match, and I would be in front of the TV watching the entire, match. Even the IPLs I used to watch. I think last 3-4 years I've stopped watching because it's just getting to be too much, and now there's so much to do.
Okay.
But yeah. And
so
now I'm not
how
that
does the
fit.
family feel with you sitting in front of the team and cheering, "Come on, India! Come on, India!" So how does the
So my kids were good. My kids were always there. It was fun with them. So, and not only cricket, but even basketball, NBA matches we watch together. Both my kids play basketball, so it's always been a fun thing. Yeah.
Okay.
And I read a lot, and I like murder mysteries, which I've never written. So,
so can we expect a new novel with a murder mystery?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it as yet. So
Okay. And what about you being an author? How do you relate to being an author?
See, author is a very heavy word. It's probably better to be a storyteller or a story just conveying my thoughts. A writer is a better author, though you feel ki it's a bhari bharkam word if you call it. So I like to be a writer. Yeah. So I just write my thoughts. It's no planning is there. I don't plan my stories or plan the ending or the beginning or what's going to be. It just flows. Sometimes most of the time, In fact, in all the books that I've written till date, I didn't know how it's going to end. It
Okay.
was not that I had it earmarked and I knew this is going from here to here. It was not like that. It was a continuous flow. Started at the beginning, went to the next level, and then just clicked, and the ending came. So yeah.
Okay. So tell me something, that when you are writing, you must be having this thing known as a writer's block or a writing kryptonite, or you just might be getting stuck somewhere in your writing. Does that happen with you also? Because
Yes.
I've heard it happens with authors.
See, writing block. See, at a particular given point of time, there are a lot of things I'm writing. It's not one particular thing. So maybe I am not writing a children's novel right now, but I am working on my, you know, there is a food book that I'm doing, a kind of a
Okay, I didn't know
non-fiction.
that. You didn't tell
Yeah.
me that.
So I'm working on that. Plus, there is another love story which I'm working on. Plus,
Oh,
there are little spiritual things, poems and stuff which I write. So that is working. So it's not like writer's block is there that I'm not writing at all. It might
okay,
be I'm not writing a particular story or a book. So that's possible. It depends on
okay,
what's downloading at that time. It's like
okay.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this name, Smita G, that is your pseudonym, your writer's name. So
Yeah.
did that come out of numerology, or did it it was just thought of? Because you're a numerologist also. So did you think that the word Smita G, or Smita G stands for Ganeriwala, and you put it as JEE, or how did you actually come up with the pseudonym as Smita G?
Exactly how you said it right now. I never gave it any thought, no numerology, nothing. When you're writing, you're not thinking about all these things. So,
Okay.
I just thought ki Ganeriwala will be difficult to pronounce by children. My
Acha.
only thought. So I thought G, let's write a G. Then I thought G looks very incomplete. So I just spelled that G with a JEE. And
Ah.
believe me, I've heard so many comments about this that, you are yourself calling you Smita G, So I'm like, dude, it's nothing of that kind. It's just that I spelled out my first surname initial. That's all.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. That's
But
that's an
but
interesting thing that you've just said.
but it works numerologically too.
It does?
Yes.
Oh wow. So no wonder you're such a wonderful numerologist, yeah. It's
Yeah.
amazing. It's amazing. So now tell me, when you write, who's your main critic? Is it the kids, or is it your husband, or is it your family, or who is your main critic? Who's the one who criticizes and says, "Oh, this is not good," or are you your main critic?
Frankly, earlier I used to think my parents were my main critic, but
Hmm.
now I don't, because I see that they quite like what I write.
Okay.
So today I feel the industry is my critic.
Okay.
Actually, the publishing industry is probably the biggest critic. Why, I'll tell you. It's because the kind of books I write, it seems there is no place in the industry for that. The USP of my books are that they are children books and they have recipes which the children can make. So, they don't have a genre for this kind of book. They don't know whether to put it in a recipe book pile or whether to put it in a children book pile, what to do about it. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, and most of my stories are very relatable to children. So not necessarily they have any bad, or it's like a fairy tale, not a good fairy tale with nothing bad happening or nothing hurtful happening. So it seems too good to be true, which I've been told that doesn't sell. How can everything be streamlined, and how can everything go according to plan or things like that? So, but for a child, when you're writing for a child or when you're writing as a child, you feel, I have had a very good childhood, so I always feel this, that everything has been good, everything has been great, there have been no hiccups at all. I mean, it couldn't have been any better. So when I feel that way, about my childhood, I think there may be some more children in this world who feel the same. So critic is actually the industry who doesn't have a place for my books, probably. So that's why I had to go into self-publishing. So
Okay.
yeah, I don't know what this interview is going to do to me, huh?
No, I'm sure you're going to get a lot more people who are going to be reading your books, because at the end of the show, I would want you to just show me, your books once, so that even our audience who is watching us, or who will be watching us at a later stage, at least sees your books, because I know that the books that you have written are excellent, because my kids have gone through them when they were younger.
Yeah.
Okay, in fact, they've read all the books that you've this thing. I've not made them read Let Us Meet yet, definitely. But the other ones, definitely, I think all kids of that age have definitely gone through them. Your books are very popular. And I've seen them at various bookstores. I've seen the Braces Club. I've seen them at all the dentists. So, so definitely your books are popular. Okay, but Smita, coming back to our talk show and coming back to our talk, tell me something, that when you are writing about your books, okay, the characters who you are mentioning, are they the real characters, or do you make them up?
See, I write, there is a thing about being an author, which I think I mentioned in the first book of mine. Ki, uh, there is a bit of the writer in every character.
Okay.
So all the characters are probably based on me only. There might be something which is there of mine or the people around me. I'm not sure. I haven't based any character on any one person, but I've heard many children come up to me and tell me it feels like my life. Even my children have told me it feels like you've written about me. Even children I don't know have told me, ma'am, it feels like you've written my story. So, it's not any one particulars, it's just the feeling. I think it's just the honesty of being a child. That's what's, brought about the characters. And
Okay.
whatever I have experienced, like if you say a grandmom, so probably there must be some bit of my grandmom in it, or, a mother. So I might be that mother, or it might be my mother. I'm not sure. So it's
Okay.
like a mix up. There's no one particular person I've based any character on, for that matter.
And what about the book reviews that you get? Because since you're writing, you must be getting a lot of reviews. Some might be very good, some might be just average, some might be harsh critics. So how do you take those criticisms? How do you take all your reviews as?
See, criticisms I take as a challenge, not to be sounding cliched, but like I told you, somebody told me there is, when I wrote Shreya's Aid, the first book, someone told me there's nothing bad happening in the book. How are you going to sell it? But I said, good riddance. I am going to go ahead and publish it. And believe me, today there are children who have read the book not once, twice, but 20, 30 times. It's like a life manual for them. And their parents tell me, you please write more because my child is craving. I'm like, it's like preparing a meal. It takes 2 hours to prepare a meal and 2 minutes to finish it.
Finish it.
It's like, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
just so I salute to all the critics, and I love all my
Fans.
fans and people who like my stories. So I
Do
think
you
it's
Google yourself?
sorry.
Do you Google yourself?
Don't you Google what you don't know?
No, I'm sure.
I
Do you get onto the internet and type over there Smita Ganeriwala and Google yourself and see, what's
I'll do that
happening?
tonight. I'll
You
do that tonight. I'll do that tonight. I'm saying.
okay? Do it and definitely let me know. Okay, now Smita, keeping your author on one side, tell me something about yourself as a numerologist.
These numerologies and occult science, I've always been interested in occult science since I was in school. I used to read a lot of those Cheerio books that were there that time, and even I was a lot into palmistry and numerology, and I like tarot also, but I never learned tarot. But numerology and palmistry I always practiced also. Some way or the other in my life, I used to always check the numbers of what it's adding up to, and even when I was small and I didn't know how much it meant what I do today. So, and numbers have always fascinated me. I think I
Yeah.
was 13 or 14 years old when I knew that I wanted to be a chartered accountant. So, that's a big thing in today's world. So, yeah. So I've always loved numbers, and
Hmm.
I think they've helped me shine. So,
They have. And how exactly does numerology work? I mean, does it work with the date of birth, or does it relate to time of birth, or does it relate to your name, or does it relate to, I mean, what does, and there are so many types of numerology that, you have been talking to me about the Chaldean numerology. And, the other day, I saw on on these on Facebook, these, you get these free uh, webinars. So there was this person, I don't want to mention his name because for obvious reasons. He was having a free webinar and he was teaching some grid. I don't know what grid that is called, but you have to place your date of birth on your the first number on one block, on the other number on the other block. I don't know what it's called, but I found that pretty fascinating. So is Chaldean and Pythagoras, are they all different, or is it some way related to each other?
see, they are all different schools. They are, uh, it's like different languages. So
Okay.
it's like different schools of numerology, same way.
Okay.
It's a means of communication, I think. How the universe is communicating with you, with anyone. So some are based upon European culture, some are Chinese, some we have Indian. So all these numerological schools are all different.
Okay.
So basically, the number system is different. What the grid you're talking about, it might have been Vedic astrology, or it might have been Loshu grid also.
Loshu. That's the one I was talking about.
Yeah.
Loshu, because that isn't that Chinese something? Isn't that Chinese? It is. Yeah,
Yes.
because this gentleman who I was watching, just out of curiosity, because I was going to speak to you, so I did my research work and I was trying to think, oh my God, I need questions to ask Smita, and luckily this guy came up with this, and I said, let me at least understand what the fellow is saying. So, Losho grid. Yes, Losho is Chinese.
So there's the Chaldean method is probably the one of the oldest method, and I think it's easy to do also, and it's very effective.
Okay.
When I say effective, I mean to say numerology has only one remedy. That's the name change,
Okay.
spell change. Not even, I wouldn't call it the name change, it's the spell change. Unless you want to be an actor or something, then we can change your entire name to make it sound, more uh, like a Bollywood name. But
Okay.
otherwise, a minimal spelling change can really help you. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. And what
But
is?
besides that, Chaya, besides the remedy, just by learning about the numbers is itself so healing, because it gives a kind of sense, it gives a kind of empathy to understand that the other person is like this. It's because the numbers speak so much, and it's a clear indication of what that person is. So when you see it with the numbers matching the personality, you feel, how does this person know, how does this number know that this person is like this? It's like that. So it gives a kind of contentment that ठीक है ये बंदा ऐसा है, so he can't help it. So let's be, you learn to be more tolerant of the others, so that heals you in the long run, helps you to have better relations with your people around you, with situations that crop up. So yeah, so that's why I
Okay.
have I'm teaching numerology, and I'm calling it healing numerology.
Okay.
Because just by learning the numbers itself, even if you don't go for the name change part, or if you don't want to learn to be a professional, every person, if they can, understand what the numbers mean, and it brings out so much info about the other, that you feel contented ki ha theek hai, it's good.
Okay. So you are a numerologist. You are an acupuncture pressure
Sure. Specialist.
acupressure specialist, therapist. You are a mom. You are a writer. You are into sports. You are into food. How? What is the secret of your being so many things at once?
ऊपर वाला.
वो तो है.
Bas, I think it's God's grace that you can do so many things at a time, and the family support, and it's like I've been blessed. I feel I'm blessed.
That is true. That is true. Okay, Smita, so this was our talk with you. Before we end up, I have a quiz which I usually have with my my participants, and it's a quick 20 questions quiz, and I need spontaneous answers.
Do I get a hamper?
When we meet.
Okay. So can we meet?
Of course we can. So it's something like chai with chaya. So okay, so are we ready? Oh, very good. I should have got mic up also. Chalo. So describe yourself describe yourself in 3 words.
I'll take only 2. Is that okay?
Okay, 2.
I am.
Okay, and we leave the rest to complete. Spiritual, writer.
There is no rest.
Okay.
There is no rest.
There is no rest. So I am. I think that is so powerful.
I am full stop.
I am. That is so powerful. Okay. What's in your handbag right now?
Nothing. My handbag is in my cupboard. Where are we going right now?
Okay. If you could be one person from another era or a decade, which one would it be?
From another era?
Yeah, from another era or from another decade, which one would it be?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't want to be anyone else. I'm good. I'm happy with myself.
Okay. No, I just meant in case if you belonged to another era, which era would it be?
Okay, which era would it be?
Yeah, or which decade would it be?
It would be probably the Mohenjo-daro and Harappa times.
Okay, that sounds interesting. That definitely does sound interesting. Okay, name a book that has positively changed your life.
There are too many actually.
Okay, just name 1 or 2 for us.
Zero Limit. I don't know if you've read it.
No, I haven't. By?
It is a wonderful book.
Who's it by?
I'm very bad with names. Don't do this to me.
Okay, Zero Limit. But I'll keep it in mind and I'll try and read it also.
I'll message you.
Okay, do you prefer an iPhone or an Android?
Jo Vichale. Joe Vichale.
Joe Battalion. Okay. iPhone or Android?
iPhone. I've used only iPhone all my life.
Okay. Most spontaneous thing that you've ever done?
I surprised my elder one on her birthday. Just sat on the flight and went.
How sweet. To her medical college?
Yeah.
How sweet. By the way, Smita's elder daughter, Kanupriya, is a budding doctor. She is studying in DY Patil in Mumbai. And I just wish her all the success in life.
Thank you.
Okay, your most favorite person?
Mom.
Mom. Your addiction?
Tea.
Tea. Dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
Dark.
Do you Instagram or Snapchat your food?
Sometimes I Instagram, but not enough.
Okay. What's a triangle with two equal sides called?
Isosceles.
Ah, everybody was making that mistake that it's an equilateral triangle. Seriously, seriously. I've had people saying, just suddenly ask them, what's a triangle with two equal sides called? Equilateral triangle. And I'm like, no, it's an isosceles triangle. Okay. What's the worst commercial you've recently seen?
Worst.
Yeah. The worst commercial.
In the times of Netflix, where do you see commercials, yeah?
Okay. So basically, you're not a TV person.
Not much, anyways. Yeah.
Okay. Name one miracle in your life that happens every day.
I get up in the morning.
Good. On a date, would you rather go skydiving or bungee jumping?
Neither. I'm afraid of
Neither.
heights.
Okay. What's something that your friends would never expect you to do?
Crack a dirty joke.
Okay. The silliest thing that you have an emotional attachment to?
I think my iPod, I've still not been able to let it go. It's still there with my music on it, but it's
Okay.
become so obsolete. That was my, anniversary gift from my husband.
Okay. So that's an emotional thing that you would never let it go. Okay. The strangest food that you ever eaten?
I once had a black rice. I didn't,
Okay.
just the look of it was not appealing,
Okay. Okay. Who's the messiest person you know?
I think me only. I'm very sloppy.
Okay. Which part of your body would you not mind missing?
Oh, I know the answer to this one.
What?
My stomach.
Because you're a foodie. Okay. And the dumbest way that you have been injured?
I keep having these small injuries every day. Sometimes my hand just slightly touches the hot oven, and then there's a mark the other day. And my children keep telling me, how do you hurt yourself every damn day? So, it's like silly every day. So, I mean, I don't remember one, but it happens almost every day.
Almost every day. Okay, Smita, that was the end of the 20 questions round. You're happy. Okay. Now, before we wind up, can you show us your 3 books that you have? Do you have them with you right now?
4 books.
Okay, sorry, 4 books. Can you just show it to the audience, please? Okay, this is Shreya's 8th, her first novel. And you can always, Smita, can you just tell us where it is available and how we can get it?
See, it's available in Starmark, and it was available on Amazon. I'm not sure if it's there now, but I can always send signed copies if you want. I am very close to you. So.
Okay, and if anybody wants to get in touch with you, how do they get in touch with you?
They can direct message me, or they can. My phone number is there on the Facebook. They can always call me or message me.
Perfectly. And this is Samira's SIT venture. That's the second book.
Yeah.
Yeah. And your third one is, this is the Three on a Spree. The Three on a Spree. And your fourth one is the Braces Club. Okay. Thank you so much, Smita, for being with us today. It was indeed a pleasure, and I wish you all the success in your future ventures. And hopefully we'll meet soon when the lockdown ends. Okay, so taking your leave.
Thank you so much, Maya.
Thank you. Welcome.
It was indeed fun.
Thank you, thank you. And our audience, it was a pleasure that you were with us. Please do get in touch with Smita in case if you want to buy her books. They are excellent and they are wonderful reading for the youngsters. So please do get in touch with us and have a lovely evening. Good evening and bye bye. See you next Sunday at 6 o'clock. Bye, bye, Smita.